Hi everyone. Um, this is my project on the day the wreck of the Titanic was discovered by me, Jada Solomon, for Histories of Communications. Right here is the picture of the Titanic back in 1912, and the Titanic was known as the so-called unsinkable ship. It was known as the unsinkable ship because it was built to be unsinkable, but yet it sunk. We all know or heard of how the Titanic sunk back in April 15th, 1912, when it hit an iceberg and took 1,500 lives. The day the Titanic was found was a big surprise to the French and the U.S. researchers. Here is Dr. Robert Ballard, who led the French and U.S. expedition during this time and helped discover the Titanic. The research team was testing a new experiment that was known as an undersea robot developed by the U.S. Navy named Argo. The wreck was found 12,000 feet down on the ocean floor. On September 1st, 1985, Argo, as you can see here in this picture, was investigating debris on the ocean floor, then suddenly passed over one of the Titanic's huge boilers. That is when the researchers identified the boiler as the Titanic, and then they knew they had discovered the Titanic. Here is a recent picture of how the Titanic actually looks now underwater. You can see in the picture that is Argo, who's kept capturing live footage of the boat itself and how it looks now all rusted up and it's basically stuck there. This is how it looks to this day underwater. The media framed this event as a coincidental discovery by researchers. They also framed it as technology being the reason we finally found the Titanic by mentioning the how by mentioning how the Argo robot submarine was the one who actually found the Titanic, and without it we wouldn't have recent footage of the Titanic to this day. We all know lots of researchers went out and tried for years and years and years to find the Titanic. And it took this coincidental discovery by this robot submarine, Argo, in order for them to finally discover the Titanic. This event was also presented as a bad tragedy that survivors would have to relive since the ship has been found, which led to the survivors and researchers not wanting the ship to be raised because they wanted it to be an underwater memorial for the 1,500 people that died. The way the media framed this event helped news consumers get a better understanding of what actually happened to the Titanic and brought back answers to questions a lot of people had. It helped news consumers sympathize with survivors as they told their memories of the tragedy and helped them see that the sinking of the Titanic was very real. The media affected this event by telling the world that not only was the Titanic found, but so was lots of expensive jewels and personal items left behind, causing people to go insane to find the actual location of the Titanic so they can get the jewels for themselves. But researchers didn't want to keep the researchers wanted to keep the location a secret, but eventually the secret was out. Still to this day, many people go diving for Titanic treasures, which is not good because the Titanic is now a historical landmark and shouldn't be tampered with, and it's basically disturbing the peace of the people who lost their lives. They would just want researchers and everyone else, like the survivors, just want it to be left alone, not to be tampered with, and to just let it be. Due to the sinking of the Titanic, now stricter maritime safety laws are in place. Like more lifeboats are on board for guests, life jackets for every guest on board, and They practiced safety drills on a regular basis. Also, 13 nations came together to share the cost of monitoring ice in the North Atlantic, which became known as the International Ice Patrol. And that is the end of my background analysis and summary of the day the day the wreck of the Titanic was discovered. Thank you for listening. Bye.